Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is KHANSABRINA Maharani from Psychology Class 24 RAA. Today, I have the pleasure of guiding you on exploration of one of the most intriguing aspects of our human experience, memory retention and forgetting. Have you ever found yourself wondering why some moments remain attached in our minds, while others seem to vanish without a trace? In this presentation, we will dive into a fascinating mechanism behind how we remember and why we forget. We will examine essential theories like the forgetting curve and discuss how these concepts not only play a crucial role in our daily lives, but also shape our learning processes and emotional well-being. Memory retention refers to the ability of our brain to store and retrieve information. Over time, if no reinforcement or rehearsal occurs, this retention naturally decreases, a phenomenon famously captured by the forgetting curve, and the forgetting curve originally conceived by Hermann Ebbinghaus. Graphically, represent how newly acquired information fades from our long-term memory exponentially over time. In a sense, memory performance is strongest immediately after learning and drops off rapidly initially, then declines more slowly. And understanding this process is vital. Why? Because number one, educational practices and training. Recognizing how memory decays is crucial in designing effective teaching methods. For example, educators can employ spaced repetition and active recall techniques to counteract the natural decline of memory. This strategy not only reinforces learning but also helps students retain material for longer periods. And number two is the reliability of eyewitness testimony. In legal settings, knowing the memory fades over time emphasizes the importance of prompt interview. It also explains why eyewitness accounts might become less reliable as time increases, highlighting the need for methodologies that capture these memories accurately before significant decay occurs. And traditional models. Traditional models of memory decay, such as continuous power functions or exponential decay models, provide a neat mathematical framework that predict the general downward trend in retention. However, these models are inherently simplistic because, number one, they assume a smooth continuous decay, whereas real-life memory dynamic can be irregular and influenced by several variables. And number two, they might not account for individual differences and the complexity of neural and cognitive process involved in memory consolidation. Next, methodology. Number one is approach. In this study, a quantitative meta-analysis was employed to synthesize data from exciting literature on memory retention and forgetting. This method involves systematically collecting numerical data from multiple studies to assess overall trends and establish a robust understanding of memory dynamics. By aggregating data, the meta-analysis minimizes the impact of individual study variances and provides stronger statistical power, ensuring that the observed pattern in memory performance are not due to chance. Number two is data complication. Select studies reporting memory performance at 5 or more time intervals. Studies were chosen only if they report memory performance at 5 or more time intervals. This requirement ensures adequate granularity, allowing researchers to capture the gradual decay of memory over time, and excluded studies with this distractor task or where performance had reached floor level. Studies that involved additional tasks during the memory retention period were excluded because these tasks could interfere with the natural decay process of memory. And studies where the memory performance had reached floor levels or extremely low scores were also excluded. Floor effect can distort the actual retention pattern, making it difficult to determine true memory decay. These selection criteria help ensure that the data used for analysis accurately reflects pure memory retention capabilities without being clouded by external factors. And number 3 is modeling. Fitted a power function to the first 4 retention points. Is the analysis models the data using the power function defined as M A equal T B, where M represents the memory performance, T is the time elapsed, and A is a constant that reflects the initial memory performance level. B is the forgetting rate, which determines how quickly memory decays over time. And procedure is the power function was specifically fit to the first 4 retention point of the compiled data. This initial fitting helps in accurately estimating the constants A and B. And predictive modeling is once the model parameters were established, the function was used to predict memory performance at later time intervals. This approach provides insight to the long-term behavior of memory decay based on early observed trend. By applying this model, researchers can quantitatively describe the memory retention curve and project future memory performance, which is vital in contexts such as educational practice improvement, training methodologies, and assessing the reliability of eyewitness testimony. Next is early phase or working memory. The power function accurately predicts memory performance for very short delays, or up to 60 seconds. For every short delays, or up to 60 seconds, the power function model accurately predict memory performance. These paths reflect the working of working memory, which is inherently transient, the highly sensitive to immediate decay. Because the information is still fresh, the natural decline follows a predictable repeat pattern that the power function captures effectively. Here, this distraction or interference typically have little time to affect the memorized content, so the model's forecast is well aligned with observed behavior. And intermediate paths or early long-term memory. When memory performance is observed between 60 seconds and 12 hours, actual performance tend to be better than what the power function predicts. This suggests that after the initial rapid decline, additional processes such early consolidation help stabilize stabilize and reinforce memory. In this phase, the brain begins to transfer information from the fragile storage of working memory to more durable stores, which slows down forgetting. Thus, the retention curve deviates from the simple power law and indicates a buffering effect where memory is maintained more robustly than expected. And lateral phase. For intervals from 12 hours up to 7 days are traditional long-term memory, and beyond 7 days are long-lasting memory, actual performance is systematically lower than predicted. For intervals stretching for 12 hours up to 7 days or that actually memory performance is systematically lower than the prediction of the power function. In this later phases, a range of factors such an interference from new information, the gradual decay of synaptic efficiency, and additional neural and contextual factor accelerate the forgetting process. These complexities imply that over the long term, and factors affecting memory retention become far more varied and interact in ways that make a single conscious mathematical trajectory insufficient. And number 3 is implication. A single continuous mathematical model does not fully capture the nuances of memory forgetting. Instead, distinct cognitive and neural mechanisms dominate at various time intervals. In short, while the power function provides a useful approximation in the early phase, a more nuanced multi-phase model is required to fully capture the complexities of long-term memory dynamic. Number 1, forgetting cannot be explained by a single continuous function. The pattern of retention changes over different time intervals. Forgetting is not a uniform, always continuous process. While a power function model can capture the overall trend of memory decay, it oversimplifies the true complexity since the pattern of retention changes with time. In the very early phase of memory, the decline is rapid and predictable. However, as the memory transitions into early long-term storage and later passes, additional neural and cognitive processes start influencing retention. These changes mean that the rate of forgetting is not constant throughout. Instead, it varies depending on the path of memory, making a single continuous model inadequate. And educational and training settings. Tailored strategies for different memory phases, recognizing that memory retention and forgetting occur in distinct phases can revolutionize how we approach learning. For instance, education can design curricula that number 1 is address immediate learning and reinforce early consolidation, optimize long-term retention, and by aligning teaching method with the natural dynamic of memory, both educational and training programs can achieve more effective and lasting learning outcomes. And and clinical application. A deeper understanding of memory passes can improve the reliability of eyewitness testimony and cognitive therapies. Number one is eyewitness testimony. In legal settings, understanding that memory decay is not linear can help explain why eyewitness testimonies become less reliable over time. Evaluators can consider the specific memory passes during which an eyewitness was interviewed or the events were recalled. This understanding can lead to better protocols for timing interviews and corroborating evidence. And next is cognitive therapies. Clinically, treatment addressing memory-related disorders or trauma can benefit from insight into phases-specific memory dynamic. For example, therapies can be designed to strengthen or recover degraded memory by targeting the appropriate consolidation phase. Therapy, improving overall cognitive health and treatment outcomes. And number 3 is research. Encourage the exploration of different consolidation mechanisms across memory phases. The evidence that a single continuous model does not sufficiently explain forgetting encourage researchers to investigate the multiple mechanisms underlying memory consolidation. The study might explore number 1 is how immediate memory buffers differ from long-term storage system, and the role of neural processes such as synaptic plasticity in early versus later consolidation. And number 3 is the impact of contextual and emotional factor of different phases of memory. These insights could lead to the development of more sophisticated multifaceted models that better capture the entire trajectory of memory retention and forgetting. By the end of our discussion, I hope you'll see that both retaining memory and allowing ourselves to forget important function, keeping our mind agile and healthy. So let's embark on this journey to understand the delicate balance our brain maintained between holding on and letting go. And that's it. That's for me. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.